Hello, everybody. I am joining you live today, not from the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers, but from my own backyard because I needed to do some grounding today and just really tap into this beautiful weather. But of course, we are joined by Anna over there at the Tiny Chapel in Weymouth Landing so that she can lead us today for our midweek reset, which I am so looking forward to. I just wanted to shout out to a couple of my business crushes before we got underway today. I am wearing this hat by Kai. That was a gift given to me by my business crush, Kylene. And I would love to thank Solar Cannabis for including me in this event last week. It was absolutely amazing. A panel all about plant medicine, about functional mushrooms, and about how chocolate can be like a vitamin. And so Kai makes amazing cacao mushroom cordyceps bonbons. So you guys don't sleep. Go down to Solar Cannabis and try them. You will not be disappointed. This is like living food. And then my second business crush shout out, of course, is Andrea from Microdrops. I just wanted to say thank you for this elixir this morning to give me the energy to get out of bed to do this practice today. So, mwah. Of course, you can find this at Irie Bliss. But Anna, thank you for being here and helping us stretch out and release all of what this week has brought us so far.
Thank
How are
you.
you feeling?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here again this week. It's a privilege to be here, and I miss you, and I'm so grateful that we can at least connect this way. Old school, we didn't have this, right? So this is awesome that we can virtually be with each other. I have a few members here with us today that are going to practice today, which is awesome. So I'm so grateful, and of course, thank you, Stan, for always taking the other side of the. We got to give him props too. So yeah, I'm so grateful to be here this week. It just feels like so much is going on, and my schedule has gotten busier. But I wanted to talk today about. So you all know that I'm a yoga therapist. I'm 900-hour certified in yoga therapy, and it's a real passion of mine, and that's why I love the opportunity to be here to share it, because it's something that I bring into everything. I wouldn't be sitting here, or maybe I could be here sitting, but I would probably be more of a mess without yoga, therapeutic yoga practice. So I'm not used to calling myself a yoga therapist, but that is what I do. I am a yoga therapist, and I'm stepping into those shoes. And the reason I bring it up is because when we think of yoga, we think of yoga as just a physical asana practice, just movement, moving the body, how it affects the physical body, including the breath. And of course, I have also talked about the 5 layers of being, or the subtleness, the subtle bodies, and Sandy, you know also what all that is about, and we love talking about it because we do live in 3 layers, which is the physical, the emotional body, and the breath body. And I also put in there the mind body because our mind is constantly a part of that. And all these layers that we live in most of us, they are separated. So we separate the physical, we separate the emotional, and we separate, the mind talking to our body. So in this practice for myself, it's become very important to be aware that this is how we are as human beings and spiritual beings, but that there's something that we can do to unify and harmonize these layers. So when we harmonize these layers, and this also includes, the chakras and the rebalancing of energy, nurturing the nervous system, all of the physical, the emotional, all ties into harmonizing and balancing these layers. So when we think of yoga, yes, the physical layer is very, very important. It is the first layer, and it's also the thickest layer if you think about an onion. So it's a really tough layer to get through. And most people, when they begin a yoga practice, begin in a physical practice. I did. And it took me a long time to kind of make, it didn't take me a long time to make the connection, because I began to really feel my body feel better, and that made my mind feel better. But obviously, it's taken me years in these studies to realize, wow, I was feeling better because I began to harmonize these layers. So that is my aim when I come to the mat and, share this practice with you. And what really becomes most important in this practice is that you see yourself as a whole. So we may have these layers, but they can't work without each other. Without our breath, we wouldn't exist, right? So they have to work together. And to really think yourself as a whole, because this practice, when you move your body, when you move the physical, you bring in the breath, the physical body begins to draw up emotions. Those emotions affect how you breathe, and we do manage our breath in this practice. And so that is why you leave this practice this day or after this class leaving so good. And for me to share this is very special. So I'm always grateful to be here. So we're going to start on our backs today. And I'm going to get a frog in my throat. I'm just warning you guys right now because my allergies have been affecting me. And the reason we're going to start on our backs is because we're going to work on our backs. So it is very important. I've been hearing a lot of people complain about lower back pain. When you are in pain, that affects your emotional body. That affects how you breathe. When you are in pain, it creates anxiety. It changes your breath. So what we're going to realize here is that with our lower back comes the entire back and the core as well. So to support your lower back and ease lower back pain, it takes these muscle groups and the front body and the back body to work together. So lying on your back and just come to an ease, allowing your breath come to its natural rhythm, relaxing the head, relaxing your arms by your side, palms up to open up the heart. And remembering that as a whole, we are whole, that includes our heart. And I always come from a heart-centered place. So we're going to bring our awareness to our hearts as we begin to tap into that natural rhythm in and out the nose. Maybe closing our eyes if that feels good. Coming to a resting position. And just beginning to let go. Notice how your toes feel, how your feet fall. And remember when those thoughts come in, or the inner critic comes in, or that unwanted committee comes in to start talking what you don't want to hear, tell them to go away. They are at the door and they're not welcome here. And to really steer them away, we're going to come to this place of groundedness. And within this groundedness, I invite you to say something kind and loving to yourself. At the beginning of all our practices, we set intentions. So if it feels good to you to bring your palms to your chest over your heart, you can do that. Or you can stay right where you are. As you breathe in, allow the belly to fill and allow the breath to energize your heart. As you exhale, allow the belly to fall. Feel the movement of your chest underneath your arms, underneath your hands. Those kind words, those loving words are the truth. Your higher self is speaking to you, telling the inner critic to step aside. Allow yourself through those words to set an intention. Remember, it is intentions that drive our actions. And it is these intentions, kind, loving intentions, that we carry through this practice and take with us once we leave this sacred space. I invite you to take a nice deep breath in. Allow the chest to rise, and on the exhale, allow the belly, the chest to fall. If your hands are on your heart, releasing your hands, arms by your side. And on the next breath, bring your arms over your head, stretch out your legs, stretch in opposite directions. Take a nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, lower everything down. The arms come down, the legs relax. Inhale, full body stretch, arms over the head, legs extend in the opposite direction. Nice deep breath, and on the exhale, let the arms fall by your side, letting it all go. One more, just so. Inhaling the arms over the head, extend the legs, extend the arms, and then bring both knees into the chest. Give them a little hug, maybe a rock side to side. And then bring your hands to your knees and begin to circle the knees around any direction. And then go the opposite direction when you're ready. And then come to center. Release the legs, extend the legs in the opposite direction as you take your arms over the head. Another full body stretch, and then bring the right knee to your chest. Give it a nice hug and a squeeze. And then awareness to the foot as you begin to rotate and want to move the ankle, maybe pointing and flexing and rotating both ways. And then you're going to release the knee, bring the left knee to chest, and take a nice squeeze in. Flexing the foot, pointing, rotating. Taking those deep breaths. And take another nice tight squeeze, release, full body stretch. And then lower your arms by your side. All right, so we're going to bend the knees here. And we're going to do an anterior and posterior pelvic tilt, which means that we're going to shift the hips, tilt the hips forward, and that's going to flatten the lower back. So you're going to feel the whole lower back touch the mat. And then we're going to gently tilt the hips back, and that's going to create the arch in the back. So as you tilt forward, that's anterior. As you tilt back, posterior. And so continue to tilt the pelvis just back and forth, feeling how the lower back hugs the earth as you tilt forward, and feel it rise towards the sky as you tilt the hips back. So It's just a very subtle movement, and it's a really nice movement to do just to bring some gentle movement to the hip flexors. All right, from here, bring the knees to chest. Take a nice squeeze, and then we're going to lower that left leg down, take the right knee to the chest. Release the knee, arms over the head, full body stretch, and then bring that left knee into chest. Flex both feet. Deep breath in, and on the exhale, let go, release the leg, arms over the head, and then arms by your side. Again, bend the knees. So feet are nice and flat on the mat. And bring the arms to a T and allow the knees to fall to the right and then fall to the left. Just gently. It's not how low you go. It's just a gentle movement of the hips side to side, which is also releasing the spine and the lower back. Now coming from the mid-back. And then allow the knees to gently fall to the right side. Take your gaze over to the left. And take some nice deep breaths. Inhale, bring your legs back to center, head comes back to center. Again, swaying the legs left and right, moving the knees back and forth. And then allow the knees to fall to the left gently, and then take the gaze to the right side. Last breath here. And on the exhale, shifting the knees back to center. Bring the arms around the knees, give them a nice hug. And then once again, release the legs, but bring the feet back to the mat. Arms over the head. Take that right hand to the left wrist. Lengthen, and then we're going to just take a gentle lean over to the right side. My legs are still bent, just relaxed. Feet are pressing into the mat. Gently walk to center, come back to center, and then take a little lean over to the left side. Come back to center, extend the legs, and we're going to do a little banana stretch. This time we're going to bring the legs to the right side, and the arms are going to follow to the right side so we can stretch the left side body. So we're creating this banana shape with our bodies. Last breath here. Shift the body back to center, and then walk the legs and the hands, the arms over to the left side. Last breath here, and come back to center. And from here, we're going to bend one knee, bend the right knee. And we're going to gently bring our arms back down by our sides. And we're going to shift our hips to the right and gently roll over to our sides. So we're rolled over to the left side. You can bring the left arm to support your head. Bend your knees if that feels good. Just take a little moment here. And the reason I'm doing this, you think this isn't yoga and I'm just resting, but it's not. It's yoga. I'm going to show you how to safely lift yourself off of the mat. And I do this out of my bed too, so it's a really just safe way to keep your back safe and your core not feel like you're straining. So we'll get up together. What I'm going to do is press my right palm into the mat to lift myself up. And then my left hand, my left arm is supported by my elbow. I'm going to drop my hand down, my left hand down, so palm down. And with both arms, I am pressing my body weight up to seated. and then we can swing our legs around and shift the hips and bring the legs forward. Or you can, that's how you shift off the bed. So instead of doing this, or I've seen people do this, right? Right? It's really hard, right? Yeah. And they move, they have to shift the entire body to come up, right? So this is a really nice, comfortable way to shift back to seated and shift yourself. All right, so let's extend the legs out. Give the legs a little pat. And inhale the arms up. Exhale, lower down. Bring the feet into a butterfly, the legs into a butterfly position. Soles of the feet touch. And then take a nice deep breath and lengthen through the crown. And then release the breath. On the next breath, you're going to gently hinge forward. And gentle, because, with tight hips comes a limit of movement that might feel a little tight, right? So ease into it. And then also consider how far forward or how close your feet are. And if it helps to take a bind with your hands around your feet, notice, maybe play with that. Take another breath in and then allow yourself to hinge forward. I'm just going to extend my legs out. That's more. I can feel both, but I think I'm just in the mood to extend my legs out and release the hips a little bit more, less tight. All right, so again, as you're draped over, allow the elbows to gently fall on the legs or fall forward. And this just is giving the hips a nice stretch. Inhale, lengthen through the crown again and allow yourself to gently lower with your body weight. This is very gentle. And then let's come all the way back up. Bring the knees together. And I'm going to scoot down a little bit. We're going to do a little rock back and forth. So this is going to massage our back. So we're going to gently fall back and bring our legs up and come onto our backs and then roll up. Okay, so hold your navel in, especially when you're coming up, and you're just massaging your back. You're also using your two pelvic points to balance. Last one, come back to seated. Extend your legs forward. Take an inhale over the head. Flex the feet and then exhale, gently fold over the legs. Doesn't have to go very far. You don't have to touch your feet. Allow your arms to rest on your shins or your ankles or wherever they land. And then gently walk the hands back up, come back to seated. All right, so we're going to swing the legs to one side, come to a tabletop. Allow the shoulders to stack over the wrists and the hips to stack over the knees. Let's do a little cat-cow. On the inhale, let's drop the belly and take the gaze up. On the exhale, the chin's going to move to chest and you're going to round in, tuck the tail. Inhale, extending the spine, dropping the belly, taking the gaze up. Exhale, chin to chest, round in. Let's continue. Inhaling as you extend. Exhaling as you round in. So we're warming up the spine and creating space in the front vertebra and the back. And then let's come back to center. All right, so we're going to curl the toes under and walk the hands to the knee, towards the knees, and come and sit on your heels. Just for a few breaths here, we're going to stretch the bottoms of the feet. So it's going to feel tense, it might feel uncomfortable, so if it begins to feel uncomfortable, use your breath and then shift the weight a little bit. This is so good to open up your feet. Hero pose. All right, let's release. Arms come forward, uncurl the toes. Bring the knees together. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, let's take a bow here. Sweep the arms back. Go into a little child's pose. So the torso is going to drape over the thighs. Shoulders will drape over. Allow the head to rest. And then next breath, inhale, reach up, lift the hips up. This time we're not going to go into a child's pose for too long. On the exhale, we're going to take a bow and sweep the arms back. And then inhale, rise up again, reaching the arms back, press the hips forward. And on the exhale, sweep down, take a bow. Inhale, reach up and back, press the hips forward. Exhale, take a bow. Head does not have to come all the way down to touch the mat. It's just taking a bow. So you continue the movement, reaching up and flowing down. We're going to do one more. Reach up, flow down. And then from here, hips stay on the heels, reach up. Arms are parallel to the ears. Flip the palms gently. Bring the arms down by your side. All right. So let's take the knees to the width of the mat. Let the toes touch. And we're going to go into a wide-legged child pose. So let's extend our arms forward. Now we can rest the forehead on the mat. And allow yourself to go into this resting pose. So it just feels so good to create space for the body in this pose. And remember, you can support your forehead with a block or with a pillow or with a blanket. On the next breath, walk the hands over to the right side. Place that left palm on top of the right if that feels good. Allow your body to drape and relax. Walk the hands to center. Shift your hips back towards the heels and bring the awareness to the palms. Feel like you're pulling the mat towards you without moving the mat. So your hands are suctioned to the mat and you're drawing that energy towards you as your hips are shifting towards your heels. So you're getting that lower back, that frog's back, sorry, the mid back and the upper back. Walk the hands over to the left side. Maybe stacking that right hand on the left. Feel that stretch as you ground that right hip. So grounding in just means drawing the energy towards the earth. So feel that right glute shift towards the right heel. And then let's walk the hands back to center. Take another little bow. And then from here, let's gently bring our knees back as we walk the hands towards our knees. But then we're going to come into a tabletop. Then we're going to walk our hands forward and shift the body down. So come all the way down to your belly. So now we're going to get into some back strengthening differently. Okay, so we're going to begin with cobra pose. And let me shift my mat a little bit. We're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders. feet are gonna come together, or test it out. Maybe your feet feel better a little bit apart, like about shoulder width, but I like to put my feet together. So in Cobra, gently bring your chin to the mat. Hands are underneath the shoulders. So the way that we align the hands underneath the shoulders, and then we want to tuck the elbows. But the way to check the alignment, drop your shoulder, any shoulder, down, and if you see the fingertips, they're right where they need to be. So, and then you do that on the right side or on both sides. And then once you have you have your hand placement, you're holding on, fingers are nice and wide, so you're really gripping the mat. And you're going to press all 10 toes. So before I continue, what you want to avoid is clenching the buttocks. So you want the buttocks to stay nice and loose, but you're going to press all 10 toes. You're going to press the hips into the mat without clenching. And then you're going to lift the chest up just as high as it feels comfortable for you. So let's take a nice deep breath in. And as we do that, press all 10 toes in, lift the chest, bring the elbows close to the body, and on the exhale, we're going to lower down, bring that left cheek to the mat, and extend the arms down. Just for a couple breaths here. Then let's bring the hands again underneath the shoulders, check our alignment. Bring the elbows close to the body. Okay, so we don't want them flailing out here. We want them nice and close to the body. Chin to the mat. Take a nice deep breath as you press all 10 toes. Press the hips into the mat and lift the chest up. And then exhale, gently lower down. So you're taking that gaze all the way up and the body is following the gaze. Okay, we're going to do this 3 more times. Okay, we got this. Inhale. 10 toes press in, pubis press in, chest lifts, gaze rises, and release. Only 2 more. Inhale, lift the chest, pressing the toes, not clenching the buttocks, and then gently lowering down. Last one, my friends. Inhale, lift the heart, bring the shoulders back, press 10 toes, exhale, lower all the way down. Arms by your side, right cheek to the mat. Extend your arms down and relax. So just take note of what your body's feeling. Maybe your heart rate is up. All right, so let's come back to center. And we're going to extend the arms out into a T. So we're going to do full locust pose, which is back strengthening. It's an amazing posture. And this is what babies do when they're on their tummies and they want to lift, right? They need to strengthen their back because in their future they're going to be walking. And you need strong back muscles to learn how to walk and core. So what we're going to do here is on the in-breath, and I'll cue you, we're going to lift everything up. Legs are going to rise together. Arms are going to come up and maybe shift back. And then we're going to lower everything down. Okay? All right. Ready. On the inhale, lift everything. Chest rises, legs rise, arms rise. Take the arms back. Deep breath. And then exhale, lower everything. Left cheek to the mat. Arms by your side. Let that go. Heart rate is up. Breath might be a little bit faster. Deepen the breath to relax the body. Chin back on the mat, arms outstretched. Take a nice deep breath in. Everything lifts off the mat, arms back, legs up, chest rises, gaze up. And then gently lower everything down. Let it go. Arms by your side. Right cheek to the mat. Let it go. right, my friends. Let's bring the chin back to the mat. Arms come underneath the shoulders. Gently lift yourself up and you're going to shift your arms forward. So we're going to go into Sphinx pose. All right, so feet about hip distance apart. Some people like to do it with the feet together. This time I'm going to do it with my feet apart. And we're going to expand the hands, so really gripping the mat. Fingers nice and extended, gazing forward. On the inhale, you're gently lifting, pressing into the mat. Press the heart forward, and you're gazing forward. So feel those back muscles, feel the shoulders, the chest, and then release. You feel that? All right. Take another deep breath. Press the 10 toes and shift the heart forward. Grip the mat like you're pulling it towards you. Gaze forward. And then release. All right, so hands underneath the shoulders. Curl the toes under. Gently press yourself back to table. And then shift the hips up to down dog. Let's walk your dog. Shifting one heel after the other. So be mindful that your ankles and knees are all in one line and that the knees aren't collapsing. And the heels don't have to touch the mat. Gently take your gaze between your ankles. Press the heart towards the thighs. Inhale, lift the heels high, bend the knees, take a little hover here. Deep breath in, lower the heels, press the heart towards the thighs. Take a nice deep breath in, bring the knees down to the mat, hips back to the heels. Arms outstretched. Inhale, shift forward, curl the toes under, lift to down dog. Press the heart towards the thighs, gazes between the ankles. Lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze between the hands as you hover. And then lower the heels, take the gaze between the ankles. Heart reaches the thighs. Bring the knees back down. Shift the hips back so the feet come flat. Inhale, shift forward. Curl the toes under, back to downward facing dog. Gaze between the ankles, shift the heart towards the thighs. Lift the heels high, bend the knees deep. Gaze between the hands. Back to downward facing dog. And then gaze between the hands, drop the knees, feet flat, hips back towards the heels. All right, let's shift forward again. Inhale. This time, shift the shoulders beyond the wrists and go into an up dog. Lift the knees here if that feels good to you. And then lower the knees, shift back to extended child's pose. Inhale, shift forward. Take an up dog. Shift back, lower the knees. Extended child's pose. Inhale, last one, shift forward. Maybe lift the knees, take the gaze up, then drop the knees. Come back to extended child's pose. And then we're back to our tabletop. All right. So a little core here. We're going to extend that right arm and lift that back leg. So extending in opposite directions, gazing at the top of the mat. Take a nice deep breath here. Bring the elbow and knees together and extend. Inhale, bring the knee and elbow together and extend. One more time, knee and elbow together and extend and then lower down. Opposite side, left arm extends, right leg extends. Take a nice deep breath in, bend both elbow and knee, bring it together. Extend, bring elbow and knee together. extend. Last one, you got this. Bring it together and extend, and then come back to your tabletop. All right, so this is gonna feel good. Inhale that right arm up, and then exhale, weave it underneath that right arm. Bring that shoulder down, extend that left arm forward. Breathe. So option here, if you want to lift that left arm up and bring it behind you. You can rest the palm faces out as you rest the arm behind you. Yeah. Inhale that left arm up and bring it back if you have it behind your back, and then walk your hand towards you. Lift yourself up as you inhale and lift that right arm up to the sky, and then lower down. So we're back at tabletop, opposite side. Inhale that left arm up. Exhale, weave it through that right arm, drop that left shoulder, left temple touches the mat, and extend your right arm forward. Notice what happens when you shift your hips gently back and how that affects the shoulder. Again, you can lift that right arm up and bring it behind you, palm facing out. Last breath here as you inhale, that right arm's going to come back, and then gently it's going to walk back towards you to support you. Lift yourself up, inhale that left arm all the way back up, reach up, and then lower down. All right. Curl the toes under, shift the hips up, downward facing dog, gaze forward between the hands and walk your feet to meet your hands, come to a forward fold. We made it. Ragdoll here. So you can grab elbow to elbow, allowing yourself to feel heavy, or you can dangle your arms. And then notice if you're holding on to your neck. You can take a nod or a shake no. Remember that it's okay to say no, to set those boundaries. We all need boundaries. Inhale, hands on the shins, come to your half lift, and then let's root to rise. Come all the way back up. Let your palms touch and palms come to heart. All right. Awesome job. You guys are doing great. Inhale, arms come up. And then let's press the hips forward. Take the arms back. Gently hold here. Another deep breath in, forward fold. Come all the way down, hands together, and then release when you come down. Heel toe the feet to the width of your mat. And allow yourself to get into that forward fold. Take that left hand to the right ankle, and then take the gaze underneath the left arm. Walk yourself to center, switch sides, left hand to right ankle, peek under that right arm. Come back to center. Let's heel toe the feet back to hip distance. Inhale, hands on the shins, coming to your half lift. And then let's root to rise. Arms will come up, palms press, and palms come to heart. All right. Very good. Feels so good to be here. How you feeling? Good? Awesome. All right. All right, so let's do a little tree pose. All right? And then we'll end the class. Thanks for the shake. All right, so let's shift the weight over to that right leg. And then focus on a spot in front of you that isn't moving. So you got your focus. And then you're going to shift all of the weight to that right leg. And then you're going to kickstand that left foot. and allow the knee to fall open. Feel the length in the spine by taking the crown towards the sky. Pull the navel in and begin to lift that left leg onto the ankle or calf, or you can keep the toes grounded. Or you can reach if you want to place the foot in the inside, in the inner thigh. Okay, so the pressure of the press is going to keep you stable and strong standing legs. So that strong standing leg is contracting. When you have your balance, reaching, focusing, maybe expanding the arms and playing with your balance. You can lower the arms or reach up high or wave. Awesome. I have to remind my students to smile in this pose because they're so focused, which is good. But relaxing the face is really good. Bring the palms together, palms to heart, and let's release. Shake it out. All right. So feet again in the shape of a number 11. Heels behind the toes. Hands to heart. So standing mountain, toning the legs, so lifting the quads, really feeling that grounded energy. We're going to shift the weight over to that left leg. Kickstand that right foot. Remember, toes can stay grounded if that's where you are comfortably, or you can begin to lift the foot onto the ankle, calf, or inner thigh. And it's okay to wobble. If you wobble out, you just get back in. It's only practice. It's only yoga. All right, so contracting that strong standing leg, contracting the thigh. When you're comfortable, reaching for the sky, if that feels good. Or you can keep your hands at the heart center too. So it all depends on your comfort. And then maybe expanding, playing with the balance, remembering those two corners of your mouth, relaxing your face. Don't take a yawn. All right, hands come together. Hands come to heart and release. Shake it out. All right, let's do some hip circles. Bend the knees if that feels good, and then rotate the opposite direction. And then slide the hands to the knees, rotate the knees. Opposite direction. All right, so let's come to the top of the mat. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale the arms up. Look up at the palms, reach back, press the hips forward. Exhale, flip the palms, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, come to your half lift. And then let's place the palms on the mat. Walk the feet back or step back. Come into high plank, lower the knees down, shift the hips to the heels. All right, walk your hands towards your knees. Shift the hips to one side and swing the legs around. All right, so we've worked the entire body. We've worked our back and we've worked our core. So now we're going to use our core to slowly come down. Okay, so we're going to extend our arms forward, lift the chest, feet are about hip distance apart, and we're going to take a gentle lean back and then begin to shift down. Notice the pelvic tilt. Come all the way down. Head's going to come down last. And if it doesn't, that's okay. It took me a long time. My head would always land first. And release. Bring both knees into the chest. Give a nice squeeze. Wrap your arms around your knees. Tuck your chin. So then you feel that cervical spine align. So your neck and spine align. And then release, full body stretch. Oh, that feels good.
Yeah.
All right. Right knee squeezes into chest. This time, draw that knee towards your right shoulder. So bring that knee towards your right shoulder. Open up the hip there. Extend that left arm out and then gently guide that knee out. Flex the foot. Flex both feet. And you can take the gaze to the left side if that feels okay. And then gently guide that leg back, gaze guides back. Squeeze that knee in, full body stretch. Shift sides, left side squeezes in, left knee. Then guide that knee to the left shoulder. Don't forget to breathe nice and deep. And then extend that right arm out, gently guide that knee out laterally. Flex both feet. Taking the gaze to the right side. And then gently, gaze comes back to center. Squeeze that knee in one more time and then release the knee, full body stretch. Arms by your side, palms flat, bend the knees. All right, we're in a windshield wiper. Actually, bring your arms to a T, windshield wiper the knees left and right. And then allow the knees to drop gently to the right side. Take the gaze to the left. And then if it feels good, bring that right ankle to the top of the left thigh. So option there as you take the twist. And so the weight of the leg allows the twist to go in a little deeper. You ground your shoulders. And then release and come back to center. Windshield wiper the knees back and forth again. And allow the knees to fall gently to the left side. Take the gaze to the right. Allow the, maybe if it feels good, the left ankle to come to the top of the right thigh. Taking some nice deep breaths. And then releasing, gaze comes back to center, uncross your legs if they're crossed. And then gently wiggle the knees or wiggle the hips side to side. All right, so arms by your side. We're going to do a little supine pigeon pose. So on our backs, we're going to take that right ankle to the left thigh. And we're making a number 4 shape with our legs, and the right foot is flexed. Now take your hands, reach through the legs underneath the left thigh and interlace the fingers. Flex both feet, and on the in-breath, gently and slowly begin to bring that left thigh towards you. Now take some deep breaths here because you're going to feel the right hip speak, those muscles, those glutes, the outer thigh. Take it with compassion. Deep breaths. Maybe allowing that right elbow to gently press as you pull the leg towards you. Last breath here, and release. That left leg comes down, release the bind, uncross the legs, and we're going to switch sides. Left ankle to right thigh. Hands weave through underneath the right thigh. Interlace the fingers.
flex both feet and then gently begin to pull the right thigh towards you. And then if your chin has popped up, gently bring the chin back down. Gently pulling that thigh towards you. Maybe that elbow gently pressing to get into the hip a little bit more if it feels good. Breathing nice and deep through the sensations. And as you breathe, you notice that those sensations will begin to dissipate. Last breath here. And release the bind. Right leg comes down. Release that left leg. Extend the arms over the head. Extend the legs and full body stretch. Arms come back down by your side, relaxing the legs. And then if there's any final wiggles you want to relieve from the body, maybe feet go side to side, or there's some wiggle left in your body as we shift into our Shavasana. Allow the palms to fall open towards the sky and see what it feels like to tuck the shoulders underneath the body. May open up the chest a little bit more to breathe. Allow your eyes to close and your eyes to feel heavy. Allow your hips to relax, legs to relax, and toes to fall open. And come back to the kind, loving words that your higher self spoke to you. You are loved. You are worthy. You are courageous. Alright, let's begin to bring some awareness back to the body by wiggling the toes and the fingers. Allow your eyes to stay closed. We're going to roll over to the left side. Shift the hips to the right. Rolling over to the left side. And remember how I showed you how to lift up. We're going to gently come all the way back up to seated. Inviting you to bring your hands into Anjala Mudra at the heart center. Bringing your prayer hands with me up to your third eye as a reminder to think kind, loving thoughts. To our lips as a reminder to speak kind, loving words. And to our hearts as a reminder to feel the love, feel the joy, to speak love, to speak joy, to speak strength, and to feel that grace. Namaste. Thank you so much.